What up, Arcadis? What up, fam? It's been a hot minute since I made a video, and that's because I've had a lot of health problems and just a lot of obstacles to overcome IRL, pretty much. But hopefully from here on out, I'll be okay. At least hopefully enough to make videos, and in the future do some streams. So I was trying to get my camera to work, but can't get it to work. It works when it wants to. But today I wanted to make this video to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on right now and has been going on. And we have so much going on in the world right now. Regardless of what you might believe, we are seeing a huge spiritual war taking place. I feel like it's been going on for many years now, but I feel like we're heading towards an end game of some sort. Or maybe even something like the 6th or 7th inning. And the reason I believe that is Ukraine and Russia are still going at it. They've been going at it for years now. We have all of these people that are completely lunatics. They're deranged. I don't even know. People are just being exposed, as I truly believe, that are just really evil, demonic, and satanic. A lot of these seem to be more leftists and Democrats, whatever. But we're seeing a lot of political violence, which I do not condone. That's something I wish wouldn't happen, and I think it's better to just have discussions about stuff, I just think it's terrible. But this war that's going on is way beyond politics. It's beyond left and right. And we're seeing all of this unfold right now. We're seeing a lot of people's true colors, people that just aren't wired right. There's something that's just not right with them, and they need help. They're not stable. And I know all about that. I have MDD, which is major depression disorder, and I have all kinds of stuff. So I get it. But I don't know, man. I just pray that everyone can find Jesus and get better, because this is it's escalating. It's getting worse. This war, it's between good and evil, light versus dark. There's just so much hateful rhetoric from the left. It's insane. It's wild. And the right ain't perfect, But like I said, this is more about spiritual. It's beyond politics stuff. But they keep on with this rhetoric and stuff, and they want to call people Nazis and fascists, and they not even knowing the meaning of them words.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes. They're going to do all that.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Trump is an existential threat to our democracy.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Comparing the tactics of Donald Trump to Mussolini and Hitler
is a very legitimate thing.
We have a Timo Hitler in the White House right now.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
The American people will have to decide that they are the last in the line of defense against Donald Trump and American fascists.
What is happening right now with this presidential attack on judges?
We live in a fascist dictatorship. That's what's happening right now. That's what it feels like. This is where we are.
You have to call a thing what it is and be definitional about it. The word MAGA doesn't mean anything other than if you go back, it's what fascists used to say.
I've been tweeting for over a year. Daily reminder, today's GOP is no longer a political movement. It is a fascist movement that has embraced white nationalism.
Here's the guy who said, stand back and stand by to the Proud Boys. Look at what he's doing last night, as you know, that more or less salutes that are either QAnon or almost look like Nazism.
Fascist takeover, that's not a bad word. It's a fact. And here in D.C. and across the country, it is so incredibly important, Mr. Chair, that this committee does not allow rhetoric that defames and or paints Washington, D.C. in a way that you all haven't really truly seen. You're just reading it. No, you're just reading it or something off of some.
Will the gentlelady yield to a question?
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Will the gentlelady yield?
No, I don't yield. I don't even have time. I can tell you.
Your time's expired.
It is expired, but Mr.
I've
Chair,
been,
but you all live
like
here, and you're not telling people the beautiful parts that you do see in our nation's capital. And no, it's just wrong how we're doing it.
Chairman, I think it's insane that the gentlelady doesn't have an argument, but she's going to refer to me and some of my colleagues.
Mr. Donald,
we were from the Third Reich. This is insane.
It's insane. 15-year-olds as a bunch of criminals?
It's insane. Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Tlaib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting card.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. But to say something like that to myself and all of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line. Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order. That's okay. But it's okay, right?
That is not how it goes.
It's okay, right?
The left wants to lecture people and, act all self-righteous while spreading so much hatefulness. Again, don't get me wrong. There's bad actors on both sides. But however, we just can't sustain a democracy like this. In this war, people will say this has nothing to do with me. It has, I'll stay in my lane, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like the problem is now you're creating a bubble around your world, thinking nothing's going to happen to me or my family. Nothing can get in my bubble or my family's bubble. Let me explain this. Evil will always find a way to try to deteriorate a person, period. What happens also is with these people, or just period in general, is that when you promote evil and hate, you ultimately end up destroying yourself, and you'll most likely take a bunch of people down with you. We're seeing that unfold as we speak. A lot of people are leaving the Democrat Party for all kinds of reasons and everything else. And then let's just talk about some of these incidents or events that has happened. I got some videos up for us to watch, and we'll talk about some of the stuff. So first, I want to talk about that, or the first video we'll watch too, is that someone tried to light Josh Shapiro's house on fire. Now this was some time ago, but let's watch this video real quick.
On to more news now. A break-in and arson at the Pennsylvania governor's residence has cast scrutiny on its security measures.
This as authorities work to understand how a suspect was able to enter that home and then escape even as officers searched for him.
As Laura Aguirre explained,
he got in and got out. That's crazy.
But the focus on possible security lapses is continuing to grow.
They were here within seconds, and they did an extraordinary job.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro praised state police Sunday after troopers helped him and his family escape a fire in their residence. The suspect, 38-year-old Cody Balmer, initially fled, then later surrendered to police. He's been charged with several crimes, including attempted homicide, aggravated arson, and terrorism. A court
A lot
affidavit
of
citing
charges.
security camera footage inside and outside the home reveals Balmer allegedly hopped a fence, broke 2 windows with a hammer before tossing a Molotov cocktail through one.
Look at their house. A few years ago, our house, my family's house, caught on fire, and it ruined our lives. I mean, it lost everything. I'm sure Josh Shapiro will be fine to have money, but I mean, still lost stuff. You know, it's crazy.
In through the other, raising concerns about the governor's security detail, which he tamped down Sunday.
I'm not going to get into my security. I've total confidence in the Pennsylvania State Police to keep us safe.
State police leadership confirmed Sunday they're now conducting a security review, a move many law enforcement experts agree with.
This incident alone, this individual was able to easily defeat multiple layers of defense.
Security consultant Jonathan Wackrow points out that the perimeter fencing, electronic surveillance and detection system, and protective services didn't stop the suspect.
Making matters even worse, the
Crazy.
suspect was able to get away without being detected.
The attack took place during the first night of Passover, a major Jewish holiday.
He didn't even get.
The Shapiros had
He
celebrated
didn't even get
Seder.
caught
It necessitates
after he did it at
greater
first.
focus on applying physical security measures or enhancements at the residences of these political leaders.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
So talk about just like there's all kinds of political violence. Let's keep going. We still have lots of school shootings going on.
Thank you. We'll continue to follow that. In the meantime, this story, a tragic update of yesterday's.
There's been several gun shootings. I mean, school shootings.
The district leader informed parents of one of the victims was a Lincoln Middle School assistant principal, Narissa Lee. Classes were canceled today. Yesterday's shooting happened after classes had ended for the day. A man firing a rifle shot into a vehicle outside the school. Lee and another person in that car were killed. And when officers arrived, the gunman fired shots at them before killing himself.
I heard the gunshots, about 10 of them. And then after the last shot, maybe 30 seconds after
Dang,
that,
that's crazy.
pulling up. When the cops showed up or when that happened, nobody was in here. Thank God nobody was here.
None of the officers were hurt. Investigators say it was a domestic violence incident. If you or someone you know are experiencing a mental health crisis, there is help. Please text 988 to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's staffed with trained counselors for free 24.
Let's keep going. Now we got. I know I'm gonna butcher her name, and I'm sorry for it, but she's a Ukrainian refugee, I believe, that came here because of the war, the Russian-Ukraine war, or at least I think that's what I read. But Iryna, again, sorry if I'm butchering her name, but she was stabbed on a bus.
There's growing outrage today.
And sadly, she passed away.
A 23-year-old waitress on a commuter
This is from
train.
Inside Edition.
The accused killer has a history of violence and mental illness, yet was free on no cash bail.
Here are the facts that many outlets have shamefully and intentionally failed to report until President Trump drew attention to it.
Disturbing surveillance video shows Iryna Zarutska, a refugee from war-torn Ukraine who sought peace and safety in the USA, stepping onto the train after
See, that's what I thought
finishing
she
her
was
shift
the
at a pizza
refugee.
restaurant. In the seat behind her is 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown.
Here's what's crazy about this too. She's just going to work trying to make money. And then she's getting on a bus, and then this guy just, I believe they're saying it was a racist thing too, even though he may be unstable and have all kinds of mental health problems. But I think after he stabbed her, he was yelling, "I got that white girl" or something.
Watch as he
We'll see what the rest of the
slowly
video
opens
says.
a pocket knife, then stands and without warning plunges
I hope it
the
doesn't
knife
show
into
it.
his victim in an unprovoked attack. He strides
they didn't
away,
show
and
it.
at first,
Okay.
even
That's
Iryna
good.
doesn't seem to realize how badly wounded she is. But her
Oh my
life is
gosh.
ebbing away. We spoke with WSOC TV
Oh my
reporter Hunter
gosh.
Signs.
It's surreal that this
terrible.
was so random of an act and so blatant of an act. And when you see that video, I think every one of us who use the light rail system say it could have been us sitting.
I haven't seen the whole video. I don't want to see it.
Of President Trump.
A beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country.
terrible, man.
This story has trickled up from local news to social media, and
She
now
didn't even realize she had been stabbed that bad.
used as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments.
Brown had been arrested 14 times and had served 5 years in prison.
This guy was arrested 14 times, and then he spent 5 years. He spent, I guess, in prison or whatever, 5 years for armed robbery. How is he out? Why didn't they keep him locked up? Let's keep going. It's crazy.
For armed robbery. His mother says he's schizophrenic. Iryna escaped the war in Ukraine in 2022 with her family. She loved animals and was working in a pizza parlor, hoping to put herself through college and become a vet. The city council is beefing up security on
she was
their
gonna
light
become
rail
a vet?
system in the wake of the murder.
That is so terrible. Let's keep going. We got more. This is we also had the assassinations of Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, who was also murdered.
The grand jury has indicted the man accused of shooting and killing the late former Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, and her husband as part of a larger plot to kill lawmakers. The indictment lists murder, stalking, and firearms charges against Vance Belter. The murder charges could carry the federal death penalty. Now, Belter is accused of going to the lawmakers' homes on June 14th, disguised as a police officer in a fake squad car with a manifesto of potential targets.
Terrible.
Prosecutors say along with killing the Hortmans, Belter also seriously wounded State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, shooting them nearly 20 times combined, but they survived. Authorities say he also stopped at the homes of 2 other lawmakers.
I didn't know they were shot that many times.
The investigation has shown that Vance Belter had spent months investigating his targets. He had names. He had lists of names.
This dude was stalking and plotting.
Investigating addresses, names of their family members. He appears to have conducted surveillance at least some of the houses.
After 40 hours on the run, Belter was captured in
gosh.
what authorities called the largest search for a suspect in Minnesota history.
And this just, oh my gosh, dude. I seen somebody post this on X where it's talking about political violence. To this day, Democrats and their willing accomplices, can't talk, in a drive-by media claim that Vance Luther Bolter, a Tim Walz appointee, was a far-right Republican. While he shot 2 Democrat legislators, they had both just voted with Republicans to deny health care benefits to illegal aliens in the state. Something Bolter was deeply upset about. The fact is Bolter was a Democrat, and he took out his anger on 2 Democrats and their families who he felt had betrayed his party. So in this article, they're talking about it. And that, wait, what? Bolter's car was filled with anti-Trump No King flyers and other Democrat propaganda. Bolter lived part-time with his partner and friend David Carlson. So, okay, so his boyfriend. Let's look at a few of these comments. I get this. This was 16 hours ago. I get this. There's still no definitive evidence. Government hasn't released any evidence of this. Oh, look at this meme or picture. The left, Charlie Kirk loses his life, which we're about to talk to. See, they're all smiling and laughing about that. The left, Jimmy Kimmel loses his show. This is like one of the best things Charlie Kirk's ever said, though. You can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. All right, so now we'll talk about this. The biggest thing that's happened is, well, I don't want to outright say the biggest. I'm just saying the one that's getting the most coverage is the recent tragedy, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it's really lit a fire here in the States and with people. And there's been a lot of people celebrating his death, which is terrible. We'll watch this video because it's not too long.
Yesterday at 5 p.m., I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. That was my job. that was like, wasn't really just my job, it was like my identity too. I think that's been my whole career.
Some American workers have had their jobs placed on the chopping block after publicly mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk in Utah on September 10th. Immediately after the shooting, graphic video footage of Kirk's death spread online, along with...
Let me pause this for a second. I seen the video of him getting shot. Oh, I wish I'd never seen it, to be honest. It's pretty graphic and just, man, it's so horrific and horrible. Anyway, let's continue.
Cruel jokes about the right-wing influencer.
Charlie Kirk was just shot in the... Hold on, what'd she say? Hold on, let's go back. Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck. This is cause for celebration. Wow. How do you act like that about somebody? And there's all these people doing this. They have no compassion. They have no empathy. It's so wild. So crazy to just do that, you know? He was a Christian, you know, he has a wife, he has kids, and he was good to them. He wasn't some POS, you know? Anyway, let's continue. Wow.
I'm not saying I wish death upon someone, but that's what I'm saying for this motherfucker.
A number of American companies have sacked from Delta pilots to MSNBC pundits and public school teachers after they were found mocking the...
If you're working for my company and you're publicly celebrating someone's death, or if I hear about you just being happy or celebrating someone dying or something, I'm going to fire you. You're done in my company. And for people to think otherwise, that, oh, I'm not going to get fired, you're dumb. You're stupid. You should know better.
Disturbing assassination. In a social media post, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said that America Airlines pilots who were caught celebrating the assassination were immediately grounded and removed from service. Delta Airlines also suspended a number of employees after they shared social media posts that went well beyond healthy, respectful debate. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee called for a Middle Tennessee State University employee to be fired after she wrote, "Looks like old Charlie spoke his fate into existence. Hate begets hate."
Wow.
The university told CNN the employee was fired.
Wow.
GOP Rep Nancy Mace of South Carolina also called for the firing of a public
Nancy Mace,
who posted online that America became greater after the assassination. The district later told local...
See, that's what I'm talking about, stuff like that.
MSNBC analyst Matthew
People
Dowd
posting stuff like that. It's crazy.
After he seemed to imply, just moments after the shooting on air, that Kirk's awful words led awful actions to take place.
And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
An Office Depot employee at a Michigan store was fired after allegedly refusing to print.
I seen this clip on X. It's so stupid and terrible. Someone was like wanting to get, I think, flags or banners or something. I'm gonna finish watching it, but it was something like that made or whatever it was. And she won't do it because she's saying it's propaganda. They're just trying to get some stuff for like, I think trying to do it for like a memorial thing or something, or vigil for Charlie Kirk. And this lady right there wouldn't make the stuff because, oh, we don't do political propaganda. It's not propaganda. She's stupid. She should be fired too.
Charlie Kirk for a customer. The company called the incident completely unacceptable and insensitive.
So, unfortunately,
so if they say they don't print political propaganda.
There even appears to be a coordinated effort behind the widespread firings with a doxing site called Expose Charlie's Murderers that gathered information about people who made posts about Kirk. The site, whose domain was registered
I didn't know about that. That's
is
wild.
no longer accessible, said it had received nearly 30,000 submissions as of Saturday. In some cases, online supporters of Kirk are even taking matters into their own hands to get mockers fired from their jobs.
Hi, my name is Quinn Pratt, and I like going on the internet and finding people who like to make fun of Charlie Kirk's death, and I let their employers know what they're up to online. All I do is being like, hey, just so you know, I saw this video
that a lot of people doing that.
Employees put out, thought you might want to see it. And I do not contact the employer ever again. Let's get into it. Lucas from Wisconsin, you're fired. Shelby from North Dakota, you've been fired. Mary from Louisiana, you've been fired. Shauna from California, fired.
Man, that is crazy. It's just, man. I know a lot of people that's doing that. There's just like tons of people getting fired from their jobs because of the way that they're acting and celebrating someone's death like that. I think this way of thinking, or this way of expressing your emotions, of being happy that someone is now dead, that didn't agree or align with your ideologies, is vile, is disgusting, it's sickening, it's demonic and satanic, in my opinion. These people that think this way, I believe, are possessed or something. Evil is spreading through the masses, and it seems to be targeting a lot of these people more on the left. I don't know why, but just because someone is on the left or Democrat, let me say this, or whatever, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's these other people on the left that's radical and extremist, and that does stuff like this. Celebrating someone's death. What the hell? You know, what is wrong with you? I just feel, a part of me just feels like the only way these people can be helped is through Jesus. That's it. And we're seeing a lot of people taking up their Bibles again, going to church, or just curious or getting involved with Christianity. And I think that's a good thing. And if you're interested, I'll share some channels with you right now you should check out. Let me do this right quick. We got Calvary Dover Church that live streams all their services and everything and makes videos and stuff. And you should really check them out and watch their live streams and stuff if you're into Christianity, or if you're curious, right? They're just amazing. It's an amazing community of people there. We got Andrew Wommack, who's been doing this for a long time. I mean, I think Andrew Wommack has been, I think 30, 40 years, something like that he's been spreading the gospel. You got Joseph Prince, who's also very good. Then you got off the Kirb Ministries, who makes all kind of Christian videos and everything. You got Ear to Hear, who makes all kinds of different videos. You know, who else do we got? Oh, and then we got Bible Animations, which they make all kinds of content, biblical content. Very good channel. And one other thing I want to show is over here on Redefined TV, there's a series with Jerry Flowers that's called Cheat Codes. I highly, highly recommend watching this. It's very, very good. So before we end this video, I just want to say I hope that all of you are doing well. I pray Jesus blesses you and your family. But there's one last thing I want to say. In this war, there's going to be one day that this battle is going to come to your doorstep. Whether you want it to or not, and you're going to have to pick a side. But I'll give you a cheat code. Good will prevail. The light will prevail. Jesus will prevail. Thank you for watching and listening. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace.
Somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first.